Hey there everybody and welcome. Today I'm going to be presenting a tutorial and complete solo playthrough of Spy Club. And before I begin, I just want to make a comment about Spy Club and another game that I recently did a series of videos on, Teotihuacan. When Teotihuacan actually releases in print in the United States later this month, and I think it's supposed to be releasing around the third week or so of November, after some delays in customs and whatnot. I did a series of videos on Teotihuacan, and one of the things that struck me about that game, aside from the fact that it's definitely going to be on my high on my playlist, is the fact that it's at a wonderful price point. In this day and age, when board games start at $50 and up for your basic big box game, Teotihuacan's street price is something on the order of about $35 or so, and so the value you get out of that board game for that price is really amazing. And Spy Club is another one that struck me as a huge amount of value at a price point similar to Teotihuacan, about $35 or so, I think is the street price of this game as well. This game has a huge amount of legacy components in it. Nothing overly destructive, unlike other legacy games where you have to buy recharge packs or do something or other to sort of start over. Just an amazing amount of value packed in this really little, somewhat lightweight, but not overly so, game. There's just a lot to love here, so I'm really looking forward to continuing to play this for some time. It's a little lighter weight than I would usually play, and I've usually avoided legacy games, and I strongly encourage you to take another look at it. You don't have to play it legacy if you don't want to. A legacy game is really 5 games long, so after 5 games, the series is over, and then you can go back to the beginning and do another 5-game legacy series. But enough talking about it. Let's actually start playing it. Now, the object of this game is to solve a crime, have the Spy Club solve a crime, and in order to do that, we need to solve 5 aspects of the crime: the motive, the suspect, the location, the crime, and the object. And in order to solve any one of these aspects, we need to cooperatively, this is a cooperative game, we need to cooperatively collect 5 cards of that color. So in order to solve the motive, we need to get 5 red cards in the center row. In order to solve the suspect, 5 purple cards in the center row, and so forth. The cards don't have to be unique. There are multiples of different faces in this game. Actually, over here at the top of the deck, we can see a green diner card, and down here in this hand, we can see another green diner card. So there's nothing, there are lots of cards that get repeated. All you have to do is have 5 of the same color. So you can have repeated cards, but it's the color that matters. When you end the case, and you can end the case either by winning, by getting all 5 reds, 5 purples, 5 greens, 5 blues, 5 yellows over time, or you could kind of quote-unquote lose the case, basically end the case prematurely. You still move up in the, if you're playing Legacy, you still advance to the next game in the Legacy series. So there's no real losing per se. Now, how would the case end prematurely? Well, there are 4 conditions that would cause that. There's an escape track over here. Here's this token is at the bottom of the track. If this ever gets to the top of the escape track, the case ends prematurely. There are movement cards here that we'll see soon enough. There are 22 movement cards in the deck. If we have to draw a movement card and we can't because the deck is empty, then we'll end the case prematurely. There's a clue deck where all these various cards are coming from. This card happens to be at the top of the clue deck, and underneath it are 42 other cards. If there's ever 0 cards in the deck and we have to draw another one, the game ends prematurely. The case ends prematurely. And lastly, there are 18 idea tokens in the game, 16 of which are in the center supply, if you will. And each player starts with 1 idea token. If we ever totally run out of idea tokens, we lose the game. The case ends prematurely. I'm trying to avoid saying lose the game because, yeah, if you're playing a one-off game and not doing a campaign, you can look at it as if you lost, but I think it would be almost a waste to play this game and not play it as part of a legacy series, because really that's the whole point, and it comes jam-packed with so much legacy stuff. And whether you end the case early or you successfully solve the case, you're going to be scored on that particular case, and then after your 5-game series, if you're playing a legacy, you'll have a total score and you'll get a grade. This game could be played 2, 3, or 4 players, and in solo, I suppose you can sort of play with 3 or 4 hands if you wanted to, but today I am playing with 2 hands. A hand of 4 on the left, I'm going to call this player 1 or hand 1, and a hand of 4 cards on the right, calling it player 2 or hand 2. It's important to note that all of these cards, these clue cards, they're double-sided. There's no indication of face down or face up. There is no face up or face down. On the other side of each of these cards is another card face that just looks like another clue card. So one important part of this game is that you can never flip a clue card. You can never look at its other side unless you take an action that allows you to do that, or the game does something to cause you to do that. Even when you discard them, technically, you're not allowed to peek on the other side. And if a card is ever discarded in this game, it's gone from the game. It's never returned, obviously, because when this deck gets to 0, it will not be replenished. You'll simply end the case. I am playing a legacy game today for this video. This is going to be game 1. I'm not going to be playing multiple games, just one game. The first game starts with 2 cards unlocked from the campaign deck. Now, the campaign deck is a deck that you're never supposed to look at unless you're playing a campaign and the rule book or a campaign card tells you to unlock another card. When I talk about the amount of content in this game, I'm really referring to that legacy deck. The legacy deck is 174 cards, which is roughly 348, I guess not roughly, exactly 348 faces back and front of those cards. Some of the cards are blank or don't have any content on them. So for all intents and purposes, let's say there's about 300 actual cards to read in the legacy deck at one point or another over the course or the lifetime of you playing this game. Some of those, I would think a lot of those cards you'll never even get to, depending upon how much you play this game. But you always start a legacy series with cards 3A and 4A. Now, I'm going to reveal what those cards say. I guess you can call this a minor spoiler. There will be a somewhat less of a minor spoiler later in the game, but it's just it's going to be one of the cards. There's no way for me to play a game and at least introduce you to how the legacy works without having at least one card revealed. These 2 cards, I'm going to reveal them now. There's nothing exciting here. Card 3A simply says that when you solve the first aspect of the case, meaning be it the yellow object or, let me lock that card in place, the yellow object, or you solve the blue crime or the green location, at that point you unlock your first card. And the back side of this card, 3A, you flip this card when you solve the first aspect. The back side of this card tells you what other content to unlock at that point. So only when you solve the first aspect of the first case do you have this card in play that tells you to unlock something else. And then this other card, card 4A, tells you that when you've ended the case, you flip this card and it will tell you what other card to unlock for your next game. And that will continue over the course of your series. I've not actually played a full 5-game campaign series yet. I've played a lot of games for testing and whatnot to just make sure my program works correctly and there are no major bugs in it. And I guess you should comment. Obviously I'm not playing with the game components today. If you've watched any of my previous videos on Teotihuacan or a huge number of other games that I've performed tutorials or presented solo or multiplayer run-throughs of in the past, you know that I just like programming games, especially games that I can play solo so I can play them on the road and not have to bring my game components with me. I'm a person that always has his laptop with me wherever I go. I've talked enough. I think we're ready to begin. So at this point, it's player one or hand one's turn. Now, I'm going to treat these as individual players. And you'll notice I have 4 cards here, 4 clue cards. There's a suspect token marking the 4th clue card. Since I'm the start player chosen at random, player 1 is, the suspect is placed above the above the rightmost card in the hand, and the focus token is also placed in the far rightmost card of each player's hand. So this 4th card has the focus, and in hand 2, this green ice cream shop card has the focus. Okay, given that, I'm going to explain how this game plays simply by playing it and just explaining it as I go. I take 3 actions on a turn, and I can take any different actions I want in any order. I can repeat the actions. I can exclude other actions. I don't even have to take all 3 of my actions. But there are 4 actions from which I can choose: investigate, shift focus, confirm, and scout. And I'm going to start by performing a shift focus action. What you do with a shift focus action is you move your focus marker to focus on one of the other cards in your hand. So I'm going to shift focus and move the focus marker to this green game store card. When I shift focus, I'm going to gain a number of ideas equal to the number of cards of that color, of that new color that I'm focusing on, that I have in my hand. Well, I only have 1 green card in my hand, so I'm only going to gain 1 idea from the central pool. So now I have 2 ideas. I started with 1. I'm now up to 2, and there are 15 ideas back in the pool. When any player ever spends an idea, it goes back into the center pool. So you never lose your 18 ideas that you started with in total, unless something bad happens and causes you to lose one or more of those ideas, which is obviously something you want to try to avoid doing. As I said earlier, the case ends if you ever just totally run out of ideas. I should also point out that if you shift focus to a gray card, these are distraction cards. You'll notice that none of these aspects up here, they're all colored. None of them are gray. Gray represents a distraction. So if you shift your focus to a gray card, for example, if I shifted focus to either one of these gray pizza cards, I would not gain ideas. Distractions are bad for me when they fill up my hand because they take up the space of a card that I'm trying to set collect to solve one of these aspects. But gray cards can also be very beneficial to avoid bad things from happening because the suspect doesn't like just being distracted either. But we'll talk more about that when the time comes. Now, I'm going to take the confirm action to move this game store card. This is my second action. I'm going to move it to the center row because I am aiming to solve the location of the crime by getting 5 green cards in the center row. And why did I choose green? Well, it should be pretty obvious. I have 1 green card over here. There are 2 green cards showing in the second hand, and I see that there's 1 on the top of the deck that's going to be moving to the right, and I can eventually get access to it at some point in the next couple of turns. So it looks like green is a good place to start. So I'm going to take the confirm action, and move this green game store card into some position to the center row. And when you confirm a card, you can either move it into a blank slot, or if you want, you can move it into a slot that has a card in it, and then swap cards essentially. So I could move the game store into the center row and take whatever card is in that slot back into my hand where I have the game store. But obviously, I don't have any cards in the center row, so this is going to be the first one. So those are my first two actions. Now, I don't have any other cards any other green cards in my hand, and it would cost me 2 ideas to get this one into my hand, which is a little expensive. You'll see that this card, the rightmost card, is 0 ideas. These are both 1. And the card on the top of the deck is 2 ideas. And I'm just going to wait until that sort of makes its way over to the right and becomes less expensive. So I think I'm going to actually end my turn prematurely. I don't have anything else I can do at this point. It's important now for me to indicate what happens between turns. What happens after you've finished your turn? So now that I'm going to be finishing my turn, first of all, both players' hands need to be refilled. Now, when you're playing the basic game without any sort of content unlocked, it's unlikely that anybody else's hand is going to have an empty slot. But I obviously have an empty slot because I played one of my cards to the center row. So the rightmost card from the display up here, this yellow stamp, is going to be dealt into my hand to fill in my second slot. That's the first thing that's going to happen. And then the second thing that's going to happen is that the suspect is going to start moving. Going to be moving toward the left, one card at a time in my hand, and if it ever gets beyond the leftmost card in my hand, it's going to come around to the rightmost card of hand 2, and basically you can look at this as a continuous loop that the suspect is going to be moving. The suspect in this particular case, at the end of my first turn, is going to move 1, 2, or 3 cards. These are indicated right on the game board. When I flip this first card, it's going to come over here, align with this on the game board, and it's going to be pointing at either 1, 2, or 3, which is going to tell me that the suspect is either going to be moving to this gray card, to this yellow card that's going to be in my hand just before the suspect starts moving, or this other gray pizza card. Now, when it hits a gray card, as I said earlier, the suspect gets distracted and nothing bad happens. If it hits the yellow card, the stamp card that's going to be in my hand shortly, then something else is going to happen. And that else is described for each of the colors up here on the game board. If it landed on a red card, it would cause all cards in all players' hands to flip over to their other side. If it landed on a purple card, it would remove 3 ideas permanently from the game. So this is probably the word. You want to watch out for this one. If it lands on a green card, it's going to advance the escape marker on the track 1 space. So it's going to get closer to the escape, to the end of the track, and cause the case to be ended. If it lands on the blue crime card, it's going to cause the 2 rightmost incoming clues to be discarded and to have these incoming clues refilled, causing the deck of clue cards to dwindle that much faster. And finally, if it lands on a yellow card, which would happen if it moved 2 spaces, it's going to remove a number of ideas equal to the number of aspects that I've solved so far in the case. So that means it's going to remove 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4 ideas from the pool. And if because of this card or this card we ever lose ideas, usually you take them out of the pool first, and then if you ever run out of the pool in the center of the supply, then the players themselves have to start surrendering ideas in order to pay the debt. So I have not solved any aspects of the crime yet, and therefore the suspect is not going to bother me no matter where it lands. And I sort of planned that. I didn't plan the fact that I happen to have 2 gray cards in my hand, but I am planning to it, make sure that this yellow card is here. So therefore the suspect is not going to be bothering me this turn unless the movement card that gets revealed has an icon on it that tells me to advance on the escape track. So as you can see, it is possible that you can advance twice between turns on the escape track if the suspect lands on a green card and the movement card that you reveal tells you to also advance on the track. Again, I've talked to death what happens between turns. Let's actually end the turn now prematurely because I'm not performing my third action, and we're going to see where the suspect moves. So it's moving 3 spaces. You'll notice here's the card that got revealed, and it's lining up with the 3 of the 1, 2, and 3 pre-printed on the board. So the suspect moved 1, 2, 3 spaces to this gray pizza card over here. It's distracted. There's no icon on this card that tells me to advance on the escape track, so therefore, fortunately, nothing bad happened that turn. Now, we know what's going to possibly happen next turn after player 2 ends his turn, and that is that the suspect is going to move a number of spaces dictated by the right side of the most recently revealed movement card. So the suspect is now going to move 2, 2, or 3 spaces after player 2 finishes his turn. So if it moved twice, which is our 2/3 chance, if you will, it will go here, then here to video games, another gray card, fortunately for us. Otherwise, it might land on this diner card and cause the escape marker to advance 1 space. But as you recall, green is what I'm currently out to try to solve right now. I could change my mind, obviously, at any point, but right now I'm still planning to solve green first. So I'm planning to make sure that neither of these green cards are in my hand. And I see that there's a gray card on deck and another green card on deck. So we're gonna see how this actually plays out. I'm going to start by confirming the ice cream shop. Now, when you confirm, I didn't indicate earlier, but when you confirm, you have to pay a number of ideas. Either 0 ideas if the card you're confirming has the focus, 1 idea if the card you're confirming is 1 card away. So if this wasn't gray, I could confirm this card right now for 1 idea. I'd have to pay 1 idea back to the central supply. And then confirm the card. If I wanted to confirm this card, it would cost me 2 ideas. If I wanted to confirm this card, it would cost me 3 ideas. Obviously, having the focus on one end of your hand or the other causes you to spend possibly more ideas than you might otherwise spend, because you might be wanting to confirm the card at the other end and not want to waste the time shifting focus first. I'm going to start by confirming the ice cream shop. That's not going to cost me any ideas, in the same way that when I confirmed the game store over here, it didn't cost me any ideas. And we'll put the ice cream shop right next to the game store. Okay, that was my first of 3 actions. For my second action, I'm going to shift focus to the diner. Now, you might have said, well, why didn't you shift focus first? And I might have. And if I did so, I would have gained 2 ideas because I had 2 green cards at that point in my hand. But I'm not hurting for ideas just yet, and I'm happy to sacrifice that one idea that I might have gained if I had shift focus first. But I'm going to shift focus now to this green diner card and gain 1 idea. So now each of us has 2 ideas. And for my third action, I'm going to confirm the diner. So we'll confirm the diner card into the 3rd slot. And now my turn's over, so I know that the gray chores card is going to come here. There's a 2 out of 3 chance that the suspect is going to move 2 spaces to land on the gray video games card and be distracted playing video games. And there's a 1 in 3 chance that the suspect is going to move 3 cards and land on the diner card that's going to fill my hand into this slot. And if that happens, Well, we're going to have to advance the escape marker one space on the track. Let's end the turn and find out. Okay, a card got revealed. It's lining up with 3, and in fact, it moved 3 spaces and caused us to advance on the escape track. So we've got still a long way to go, so I'm not too worried just yet. And I should note, by the way, that after you play this game a while, you might start to feel a little bit easy to you. And the other side of the game board has a more advanced side. So the escape track is shorter. Some of the bad things that can happen to you are a little worse than what happens on this side. So there's always another place to go if you want to make the game harder on yourself. All right, so we landed on green. We advanced 1 space. There was no icon on this newly revealed card. You'll notice that the second card that got revealed was placed to the right of the first card that was revealed, so that the two could line up and we could see how many spaces the suspect advanced. What will happen next turn is that this will get shifted over to on top of the first position, and the next card will be placed in the second position. So now we see that the suspect is going to move 2, 3, or 3 spaces on its next turn. So it's going to land on the yellow slingshot, which won't hurt us because we haven't solved any aspects yet. Remember, that's what happens if it lands on a yellow card. And it has a 2/3 chance of landing on this gray pizza card and being distracted. And again, nothing bad will happen unless the movement card had that advance on the escape track icon. Alright, so it's now player 1's first turn. We're looking for green cards. Now I know that there's one out here in the incoming clues that I could aim for at some point. But I think I'm going to start by taking the investigate action. And when you perform the investigate action, you're allowed to flip 1 or more of the cards in your hand to see what's on the other side. Now, this game could be thought of as a memory game. Because remember I said earlier, you're just not allowed to flip and look on the other side of a card at any point during the game unless you perform the investigate action, or you're told by the game to flip your cards, for example, if the suspect landed on a red card. So part of this game, I suppose, is remembering that when you perform an investigate action, or this happens, you should remember what was on the other side of the cards that flipped. Now, when you're playing solo, that's a little bit more challenging because now you don't have 4 or possibly 3 cards to worry about, because if you're playing with 3 or 4 hands, you have fewer cards in your hand. So now I have possibly at most 8 cards that I have to remember what was on the other side. Now, I don't really have to remember exactly. Usually I'm in the process of solving one particular color, so I'll want to remember which cards had that color on the other side. But I might also want to remember which cards had perhaps the next color that I might be thinking about solving next on the other side. So there's somewhat of a memory aspect to this game. I do have an option to turn that on and let me see what was on the other side of cards that I flipped. Doesn't let me see the cards that I haven't flipped. But if you watch Rahdo's wonderful playthrough, a part of this game, he used cubes to mark cards that he knew at one point in time what was on the other side, because he either investigated them or they were flipped because of this particular effect. That just reminded him that he should have remembered what was on the other side of those cards, but if he didn't, he would look at the other side and sort of quote-unquote cheat. You could play any way you want. It's your game. You could play it solo using any rules that you want to. If you think your memory is bad, you don't have to use the memory aspect. You just have to mark the cards that you remembered that you flipped. And I should indicate that the game comes with a huge number of tokens that get unlocked as you unlock other legacy content during the game. So you could always use some of those tokens to mark the cards. Anyway, I'm in the middle of performing the investigate action. I'm going to start by flipping I guess the pizza card, and I want to see what's on the other side of this pizza card, hoping it's green. It's not. It's a blue trespassing card. So now, if memory serves, I remember that the other side of this card had a gray pizza card on it. Hopefully I'm going to be able to continue to remember that. I'm now going to flip I can flip any number of cards, up to 4 cards when I perform the investigate action. So now I'm going to flip this yellow stamp card, and I get another gray card, a nap. Okay, so there was a yellow card in this position and a gray card in the other side of this position. Hopefully I'll remember that. All right, I could flip these, but I don't want to at this point because I know that the suspect's going to land on one of these, and I want to preserve them because I know that they won't have any negative effect on my game. So I'm going to end my investigate action. So that's my first action that I just performed. I don't have any green cards in my hand, so for my second action, I'm going to scout for this one that's in the incoming clues. It's going to cost me 1 idea. When I scout for this card, I have to put it in one of the slots in my hand, either an empty slot or a slot that has a card in it, and that's going to cause that card to be discarded from the game. So I could move it into here, and that won't really affect what's going to happen at the end of my turn because the suspect's landing on one of these cards. But the truth is I could exchange it with this card too, because if I then confirm this card into the center row, that slot's going to get filled by this nap card over here on the far right of the incoming clues. So I'm safe no matter what I do. But I'm going to go ahead and replace this nap card and discard it and put the game store card here in its place. So now my discard area has revealed up here, and I know I have card 48A in the discard area. For all intents and purposes, I can ignore that. Once cards are discarded, they're discarded for good, unless some legacy content tells me to do otherwise. All right, for my third action, I should say, I'm going to confirm the game store card. It's not going to cost me any ideas. Notice I'm going to have 2 game store cards in the center row. It doesn't matter. They're both green. I'm 1 card away from solving the location of the crime. My turn is ended. I know that I'm not going to be negatively affected by the suspect moving at least, so let's end the turn and see what happens. Suspect is moving 3 spaces. Oh, but I got that little icon I was talking about that tells me to advance on the escape track. And so therefore I am now on the 2nd space of the escape track. This will always say advance 1 space on the escape track. It never says advance 2 or more spaces. All right, it's the second player's turn, and again we should take a look at what the suspect's doing. It's moving 1, 2, or 3 spaces, landing on gray, which is a distraction, landing on blue, which causes the rightmost 2 cards to be discarded in the incoming clues, or moving 3, landing on this gray card. Boy, it's so nice that I've gotten a bunch of gray cards revealed. Even though they clog my hand and don't help me that much, they are useful when the suspect starts moving. So I am about to confirm and solve the green location of this crime, and that's going to cause this card to flip, and we're going to see what else is going to change the rest of this game, because we're going to start unlocking content. So let's go ahead for my first action and confirm this. It doesn't cost me any ideas because it has my focus, and it's going to go right there. Now what happens is the diner got selected as the true location of the crime. Now how did that happen? Because the most recently revealed movement card had a triangle on it, and the triangle corresponds to the 3rd slot in the center row. That's where the diner card was. So when you quote-unquote solve an aspect, you have to identify which was the true location or the true suspect or the true motive. And you do that by matching the icon of the most recently revealed movement card and with the card that happens to be in your center row, and that's the one that actually is the true solution for the crime. Now, what else happened? Well, there was a message. That campaign card 98A was unlocked. And you'll see that over here in my list of unlocked campaign cards, I now have 98A, and card 3A has been removed. On the back of 3A, I can now tell you that there was simply a table that says, depending upon the solution of the first aspect of the case, either unlock this card or this card or this card or this card. There's probably one of 10 possible cards that you might unlock for legacy content to play the rest of your game. It won't necessarily affect the rest of the series of games in your campaign. Probably won't, but there's a chance it might. So anyhow, we are not going to reveal card 98A, so we're going to see how it's going to affect the rest of my game. So this is a bit more of a spoiler, I guess I should say, because now you're going to actually see one of the cards that changes the game. But there's no way for me to avoid this, so you can stop watching if you really don't want to have anything revealed. But I promise that this isn't going to be overly revealing. It's just one card for that matter. Although it might tell me to flip it and see what's on the other side. So card 98A, I'm about to reveal it now, has this on it. Literature teacher. Reading will give you a broad perspective, keep you from becoming too narrowly focused. Books have a lot of great ideas in them. Okay? Clue cards with a bookshelf or a stack of books depicted on them are considered book-related cards. There are 9 cards there are 9 possible clue cards that have books depicted on them. None of these are in my hand at the moment. Now it's telling me, this icon tells me to go ahead and read the back of the card. So I'm going to flip 98A and look at 98B. So a new bonus for reading. When you shift focus to a book-related card, you may gain as many ideas as you want from the supply. Since I'm playing 2 hands here, I reason that there's really no reason for me not to take all the ideas in the center supply and move them into my personal supply, at least in that hand. Now that's hurting the other player, but there's going to be a way for me to share ideas and that we haven't seen, and I'll show you that later on. Second effect, a restriction. To take the confirm action with your focus card, you must spend 2 ideas instead of the usual 0. So that will change things up a little bit. If an event removes the final idea, this case ends. Okay, we know that already. At the end of this case, return this card to the deck. So this is only going to affect this game that we're currently playing in. All right, so I'll just have to remember that, but I also have it up here if I ever have to jog my memory. I should also point out to you that remember when we solved this aspect and had 5 cards in the center row, the diner card got set aside as the solution to the green location. The other 4 cards got added to the discard area. So here are the other 4 green cards that were discarded after I solved the green aspect. Okay, after all that, we're back to player 2's turn, and it's player 2's, I think, second action. Player 2, select your second action. So it's a lot can happen in between actions. So and one thing the game is missing is a way to track how many actions you've taken so far. But like I said, lots of tokens in the game, so you could use those to indicate how many actions you've taken to make sure you don't forget. So for player 2's second action, well, what's the suspect doing again? 1, 2, or 3. Gray, blue, or gray. All right, so I'm gonna want to leave this chores card in place. I think for my second action, I'm going to do an investigate action. And at this point, we have seen how all 4 of these actions work. We have done all of these actions at least once. But there are still other actions that you haven't seen, and that I'm not talking about legacy content, but and there might be legacy cards that add other actions. But there's also something else that can happen that we'll see soon enough. I'm going to do the investigate action so I can see what's on the other side of these cards. I'm probably not going to flip the chores card because, like I said, there's a chance the suspect will land there, and I just as well leave it be gray. So I'm going to go ahead and reveal the either one of the. I'll start with a video game. So I got a yellow lipstick card there. Okay. And now I'm going to reveal the bullying card and look on the other side. Oh, and I've got another yellow card, a watch, on the other side of that card. Well, I guess that kind of helps tell me what I'm going to work on next. Although I don't see any other yellow cards coming down the pike, I'm hoping that at some point that'll happen. Oh, what wasn't? No, this was gray. This was yellow on the other side, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure it was a slingshot. I think. Oh, darn it. I think this was yellow. Anyway, we'll see. For my third action, I'm going to confirm either one of these cards. It's going to cost me one idea. So I'm going to end my investigate action and we'll confirm the lipstick as a possible object of the crime. Okay, so that's now in the center row. My turn is ended. We're going to flip another movement card and see where the suspect moves to next. Oh, and my hand gets refilled with a... Oh, so of course, well, what did it do? It moved one space. So... Suspect is escaping and moving one space. So there's the escape icon. It advanced on the escape track and it moved one space. All right. Let's clear that and come back. Okay, to player one, select your first action. Okay, so this is where we have to be most worried because we're almost a third of the way through the track, but I'm not overly concerned yet. Not until it gets higher up, at least. All right, what am I going to do now for player one? I've got a bunch of gray cards. Let's see what the suspect's going to do. Move 1, 2, or 3 spaces. So it's going to land on blue, gray, or red. So blue causes these two cards to get discarded. Gray, of course, is a distraction. Red card causes all the cards in our hands to be flipped, which means that we'll have to investigate to get back to these yellow sides. I think for my first action, I'll go ahead and investigate to see what's on the other side of some of these cards. So let's do the investigating. Now that I think the other side of this card was yellow, and I can safely reveal it because I know the suspect is moving away from it. Oh, that just shows you how bad my memory is. It was blue. Wow. Okay, we're not going to rely on winning this game based on my memory alone, that's for sure. Let's take a look and see what's on the other side of the pizza card. Oh, well, that's useful. It's a yellow hat. All right, that's good. I don't want to flip this card because I want to be able to confirm it. So I'm going to go ahead and end my investigate action. Now I'm on to the second action. The second action of my turn. I've got one idea. If I wanted to confirm these, it would cost me a total of 3 ideas, which I obviously don't have. But I can shift focus now to the hat, for example, or to the slingshot for that matter, and gain 2 ideas because I have 2 yellow cards in my hand. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to shift focus to the hat. I think it's better to stay near the middle of my hand as opposed to the end. So I'm going to shift focus here. I've gained 2 ideas. Now I'm up to 3, and the center supply is down to 14. For my third action, I'll confirm the hat. That won't cost me any ideas. So I'm 2 cards in towards solving yellow now, and my turn is ended. So again, a 1/3 chance of losing out on these 2 cards in the center of the incoming clues, causing the deck to dwindle that much faster. 1/3 chance of landing on the gray chores card, which is good for us. 1/3 chance of causing all the cards on our hands to be flipped. Let's end the turn, see what happens. Suspect is moving 2 spaces. Good for us. So nothing bad happens. We don't advance on the escape track. That's great. And now you may have noticed something else has come up. Teamwork activities. Okay, another rule that I haven't talked about. If at any time at the start of your turn or between your actions 1 and 2, in other words, between after you've completed action 1 but before you started action 2, or after you started action 2 but before you started action 3, and not after you've finished your turn and completed action 3, you can perform teamwork activities if the focus card of your hand is the same color as the focus card of another player's hand, in this case, the other player that I'm playing with. So you'll notice the focus happens to be on purple cards on both hands. Now, they both happen to be a dog card, but that doesn't matter. It could have been some other purple card, and I still would have been able to be granted teamwork activities. So when I'm able to perform teamwork activities, I can take ideas from the other player with whom I'm sharing the color of the focus card. So I could take an idea, I could take one of player 1's ideas and shift them into my supply. Or 2, I can swap a card in my hand with a card in that other player's hand. And I can do that multiple times if I want, as long as I could take more than one idea, or I can swap multiple cards as long as I don't swap the same cards twice. When you're playing multiplayer, I suppose it's only fair to say, is it okay if you give me an idea, or is it okay if I swap cards with you? You are playing cooperatively, so you want to sort of be in agreement on that, but I don't have that problem when I'm playing solo. So I do have teamwork activities. Is there anything that I want to do at this point? I've got 3 actions yet to perform. And the suspect is moving 1, 1, or 3. So red, red, or yellow. Yellow would cause me to lose an idea. Red's going to cause all the cards to flip, and there's a 2/3 chance of that happening. I don't think... I only have one... Well, there's a card out here to be scouted. Let's start by just getting this watch card confirmed. So I'm going to get that out of my hand. Go ahead and confirm it. It will cost me 1 idea, so now I'm down to 0 ideas. And now I think I am gonna use the teamwork activities to ask player 1 if I could borrow one of their ideas. So player 1 happily agrees. So now I have 1 idea. Player 1 is down to 2 ideas from having 3 previously. Okay, and I guess I'm going to scout for this other watch in the pool. Is there any reason why I wouldn't want to do that? No, I don't think so. So I'm going to go ahead and scout, get the watch, put it in the empty slot. And if I confirm this, a blue card is going to take its place when my hand gets refilled. And that causes the 2 rightmost cards to be discarded. So I know I have a 1/3 chance of that happening when the suspect moves, but I'm okay with that. So for my 1... Oh, wait a minute. So that was the idea that I just spent, wasn't it? Oh, it's my 3rd action. Should I go ahead and take another idea, or should I... No, I'm going to end my turn prematurely, because when player 1 starts his turn, he'll also have teamwork activities, so he can always bring the watch into his hand. For the moment, I want this watch to stay where it is in case the suspect moves 3 spaces. Because if I confirmed it, then the blue card would come here. Well, I don't know what's worse, losing 2 cards from the deck or losing 1 idea. The odds are only one out of 3. I'm going to go ahead and end my turn prematurely and hope that the suspect only moves 1 space. So the suspect is moving 1 space, but it is going to cause all of the cards to flip. And I should pause here for a moment. So this was blue. So all I really care about is that these cards in this right here are both yellow, in case other yellow cards don't get revealed. And what else am I going to be working on next? Possibly purple, because there's a purple card coming down, and I've got purple cards. So maybe these 4 center cards I want to remember. Purple on the outside, yellow on the inside. All right, let me unpause and have the game continue flipping my cards. These 2 we already knew. Okay. All right, well, the yellow watch flipped to a yellow game piece. All right, so what do we know? We know that these cards are yellow. These are both yellow on the other side. This one's yellow on both sides. And we know that this card's purple on the other side, and this was purple on both sides. All right. Player 1's turn. So I guess we need to start by investigating. What's the suspect going to do? 1, 1, or 2? Purple, purple, or yellow? Purple's the worst thing that could happen. I've lost my teamwork activities because when the cards flipped, now my colors don't match anymore. I think I'll investigate as my first action. So let's see. Well, we know what this is purple on the other side, and this is yellow on the other side. Okay, and we already know what's on the other side of these. It's nothing useful. So I'm going to go ahead and end that action. For my second activity, now that I flipped the cards and now I have teamwork activities again, I think I'll take my nap card and swap it with the garbage man. That way, there's no chance of the suspect causing us to lose 3 ideas. So I'm going to use teamwork activities to swap these 2 cards. So now the nap is over here, the garbage man's over here. And for my third action, for my second action, because teamwork activities are free actions, if I didn't already say that. For my second action, I'm going to, how are my ideas? We've got 2 ideas. Player 2 is going to need some at some point. I think I could shift focus over here to get 2 more ideas. But then it's going to cost me 2 ideas to confirm slingshot. So I'm going to go ahead and shift focus to the slingshot to gain 1 idea, confirm that. So now I'm 1 card away from confirming yellow, solving yellow, I should say. And my turn is over, and we have 1 out of 3 chance of losing an idea permanently. Suspect is moving 1 space. That's where it lined up. So it landed on distraction. We didn't advance on the escape track. All good for us. All right. So obviously, for our first action, we want to... I need a... I don't have any... well, we don't have teamwork activities anymore, and I don't have any ideas, so I can't immediately confirm this card, so I'm going to have to shift focus to it. And now I'll go ahead and confirm it and solve yellow. Now, what's on the most recently revealed movement card? A spiral, which correlates to this slot in the center row. So the game piece is the solved object of the crime. So now we've solved 2 aspects, the diner and the game piece. All right, for my third action, What should I do for my third action? I guess I should shift focus and gain another idea. Oh, so I know this one's purple. And the suspect is moving 2 spaces, so it's going to land on blue. So it's going to cause these two. Oh, I'm going to lose one of my purple cards. That's too bad, but I've got another one. So I've got 4 purple cards I can account for. I guess we might as well shift focus to the... Oh, wait a second. There are books over here. Oh, lying is one of the cards, wasn't it? It has books depicted in the picture. It allows me to gain any number of ideas. Let's shift focus to that. Oh, good thing I remembered. Okay. So my program knows that campaign card 98B lets me gain multiple ideas. I'm going to go ahead. I see no reason why I shouldn't gain all the ideas and put them in my supply. So I'm going to take all 14 of the ideas in the center and move them into my supply. So now I have 15 of our 18 ideas, and player 1 has 3. And as soon as we have some teamwork activities, I'll split that supply down the middle so that we each have an equal number of ideas to work with. Okay, that ends my turn. Let's see what the suspect does next. Well, moving 2 spaces, we knew that. It's going to cause these 2 cards to get discarded. And, oh, did we lose another purple card? So, I think possibly we did. I wasn't keeping track of that. So now I know I've got 2 here and I've got 1 here, if memory serves. Suspect is moving 1, 3, or 3. So landing here or landing here, that would be good if it landed there. I think I'm going to stick with purple. I think that would be the best thing to do. Oh, and I have teamwork activities, don't I? Because we're both on blue cards. So I'm going to use this opportunity to share those ideas. So I'm going to take 6 of the ideas, so now we both have 9. If the suspect is moving 1 space possibly, I should get this dog card out of my hand. So I think I'll swap the dog card with the nap card again. And I'm pretty sure that purple's on the other side of the nap card, so that wouldn't be a bad thing either. Okay, but I think I want to leave this on the gray side for the moment. Maybe we should work on blue now, shouldn't we? There's 2 blue cards here. And now I've removed the possibility of these cards getting discarded. So I think blue is going to be our next best bet. So let's go ahead and confirm the trespassing card for no cost. I don't know, I just usually pick a slot at random. Okay, for my second action, I think I'll scout the vandalism card it won't cost me any ideas, and scout that into my 4th slot. And now I'll confirm the vandalism. So far I have to say, things have been going really smoothly in this game. A lot of great cards that have kept the suspect at bay, but things have pretty much gone my way. Some games are going to be harder than others depending upon how the cards get dealt. It's what you do with them that matters and how you play your actions. All right, that's going to end my turn. Suspect is moving 3 spaces to the pizza, but it is escaping. So now I'm on the 4th space of the escape track. Okay. Player 2. Let's go ahead and confirm lying. Although, wait a second. Let me rethink that. Is there any reason to keep that in? No, I mean, if I confirm lying, it's going to cost me 2 ideas. Uh, Not that I'm worried because I've got 18 ideas, but I'm going to cancel it for the moment. Let me think twice. Let's scout this prank card and get that into my hand. Won't cost me any ideas. Where should I put it? I'm going to have to discard one of these cards. Am I still thinking the purple's next up? Not necessarily. Let's go ahead and replace the dog. Now I'll shift focus to love. Gain one idea. Well, no, I don't gain any ideas. We've emptied the central pool, so I'm not gaining ideas any longer. And now I'll go ahead and confirm lying for one idea. Okay, so there's my fourth blue card, and my fifth blue card is coming down. Oh, and what's the suspect doing? I didn't even think. So it's moving 2, 3, or 4, landing on red, which flips all the cards, blue, which discards the 2 rightmost, or yellow, which is going to cost us 2 ideas. And a green card's coming into my hand. Well, I have no idea. Suspect is moving 2 spaces. Oh, it's causing everything to flip. So I pause the games, allow me to take notice of what's going on here. This is where my blue prank card is, so I don't want to lose sight of that. Okay, go ahead and continue. Oh, there's a blue card over there. I should have remembered that, shouldn't I have? Oh, and another blue card. So I'm good. I'm all set. Oh, and another blue card. Blues are turning up all over. I'll go ahead and confirm bullying for one idea. I'll shift focus to the dog for my second action. Gain one idea. Oh yeah, gained an idea because now there are ideas back in the supply because I'm spending ideas. Total still adds up to 18. We haven't lost any yet. And lastly, I will confirm trespassing, and the solution triangle lines up with lying, so lying is the true crime here. So what's happened so far in our story? I guess this married couple is having lunch in the diner, and the husband is lying about losing the game piece. They were playing side the night before, and the husband is they discovered at the end that they were missing one of the scythe mechs, and now the husband is lying about the fact that he lost it in the diner. Maybe they were playing in the diner, and he lost it and doesn't want to admit it. That's more feasible. The game encourages you to have an ongoing narrative among the players. Even if you're playing solo, it's fun. So there's my narrative so far. Let's go ahead and end the turn. And it looks like red's going to be what's up next for us. Suspect moves 4 spaces. We already knew that. Oh, a gray card has been dealt. I should have saw that coming. Nothing bad happens. We haven't advanced on the escape track. All well and good. Okay, a suspect, what are you doing next? 2, 2, or 4. So blue, blue, which discards these 2 ideas, or red, which causes all the cards to flip. But I think red is what I'm going to be working on now, so my plan is to get all 3 of these cards in my hand. Now I should point out, remember I said there are 54 cards in the clue deck. That's 108 faces, because all the clue cards are double-sided. And the game tells you to pay attention to the frequency with which each color appears. Red appears 14 times, purple 16, green 18, blue 21, yellow 24, and gray 15. That adds up to 108. So red is the rarest and hardest card to solve because it's just more rare, harder to come by. And it's probably better to try to solve for it early in the game than later in the game because you've now discarded a lot of cards. I could look through here. Is it cheating to look through the discard pile? I don't think the rules say one way or the other, but I'm not planning to look there. I have to believe there are still more red cards out there somewhere. And there better be, otherwise we're not going to win this game. So for my first action, I'll confirm money. Stick it over here. One idea back in the pool. Cost me one idea to do that. For my second action, I'll scout jealousy. Get it here. And now I'll confirm jealousy. Oh, you know, there are books here, aren't there? There's some books here. So Dare is one of those cards that would cost me 2 ideas. So I'm glad I just did what I did. I'm kind of doing it out of habit now because I'm worried. I'm just thinking about this rule, but not remembering about the books. But there are books in this picture. So I'm going to confirm jealousy for 1 idea. So I'm down to 6. Plenty of ideas. That's going to end my turn. 2, 2, or 4. So everything stands. A yellow is going to shift and come into my hand. 4 spaces. Is that a flip? Yeah, that's a flip. So let me pause. So I got to remember we got a red card right here, and don't know about any other positions. Hopefully there are other red cards somewhere. Ooh. Getting a little nervous now. Well, red on both sides of that. Did we already know that? I have no clue. I don't even remember. But there is another red card here. So that's good. I think I got to scout this love card. And I'll scout it. Well, I should scout it here, shouldn't I? Though they're both purple, it doesn't really matter. It's going to cost me an idea, but I'm not worried at all about it. I've got plenty of ideas to work with here. I've only got 2 aspects. I'll just stick it there. Get rid of the lovely old neighbor. I suppose I really should have put it here. Wait, is that a book? No, those are plants. Great artwork, I gotta say. Look at the raindrops on the window. That's just wonderfully drawn artwork in this game, too. Another plus. Anyhow, let's go ahead. It's going to cost me an idea, but I'll scout. Oh, not scout. Sorry. Confirm love. Oh, do we know? Have we looked at the suspect yet? 2, 3, or 3? Yellow, yellow, or yellow? That's 3 clues. 3 ideas we're losing. I could scout the pizza. Cost me 2 ideas and put it here. Yeah, again, I'm not worried about ideas. Let's go ahead and scout the pizza and replace the hat. Now I've got a 2/3 chance of the suspect landing here and not bothering us. I got another red card coming down. That's good. So now my red's accounted for. Go ahead and end the turn and hope the suspect moves 3. Moves 2. We're going to lose 3 ideas. I just said I wasn't worried about ideas. Now I'm down to 15. I'm not worried about ideas. It is player 2's first action. I guess we're going to shift focus to the twins. Oh, damn it, no. Well, it got me one idea, but I should have focused to the red. I'm still thinking not to get the focus on the cards I want to confirm, but I have to remember that it's only if they have a book in them. Uh, Sorry for my. I'm just not when I when I record videos. I often say I just don't I don't have my whole head working to really think about what I should be doing. So I'm kind of only using half of the brain. For my second action, I'll confirm love. And oh, I have teamwork abilities now. But jealousy's coming. Oh, and if I don't take it now, I'm not going to get it. I'm going to get neighbor. Moving 2, 3, 4. Purple, purple, or lying. Oh, darn it. Good chance of me losing 3 ideas again. Should I do something about that? I'm going to scout for jealousy. And hope we don't lose 3 more ideas. 3 spaces, we are losing 3 more ideas. I guess that was a... Oh, and we advanced on the escape track, a double whammy. Oh, I'm still not worried. So we're down to 12 ideas, and we're halfway, I guess you could say, up the escape track. But 1 card away from solving red, and then 5 cards away from solving the entire case, and I see lots of purple cards. Nah, I have nothing to worry about. In fact, I think this is going to be a piece of cake for us. So suspect 2, 3, or 4. Purple, red, or blue. Not overly concerned. So we obviously have to get the jealousy over to this side, and we have teamwork activities. So let's bring jealousy, I guess, over here to the first position and swap it with lying. And now confirm jealousy, and the X lines up with love, so love was the motive. So now what's going on here? The husband and the wife were playing side in the pub, and the husband didn't lose the game piece. He's lying about the fact that he gave the game piece to the woman who's sitting at the adjoining table, who he's having an affair with and is in love with. Oh, God, this is getting really a little creepy story here. The Spy Club is supposed to be like a family lightweight game, so maybe I should change my narrative. But for now, that's what's going on here. It is player 1's second action. Now we're working on purple. So I'll confirm the garbage man. He doesn't have a book, so I can confirm him safely. And I'll go ahead and confirm the twins. That'll cost me 1 idea. We've got plenty of ideas. Not worried. I probably should have taken some from player 2, though, while I had teamwork activities. But let's see. Purple's coming in here. Green is coming in here. Yellow's coming in here. Suspect is moving to purple, blue, or blue. Okay, those are good odds, except when he's moving 2 spaces. He's escaping, and I've just lost 3 more ideas. Now I've gotten yellow warning me that I'm down to 9 ideas in total, half of what I started with, and the deck is warning me that it's down to the last 10 cards beneath the lipstick. But I'm in good shape here. I really am. I can't remember if any of these other cards were purple on the other side. Let's confirm twins. No cost. I'll shift focus to the prank to get some more ideas. So now the pool in the middle is at 0, but now I've got 7, and player 1 has 2. I guess I should do an investigate action. Yeah, let's see what's on the other side of these. I don't remember if I should know or not. Suspect moving 1, 2, or 3. Let's start by investigating this. That's blue. Investigate this. That's blue. Well, this would cause me to lose 4 more ideas, so I'm going to go ahead and flip that too. Oh, it's yellow on the other side. I don't know if I should have known that or not. But now I've got a 1 out of 3 chance that I'm going to lose four ideas, 2 out of 3, that I'm going to lose these 2 cards. And red's red's coming here for sure. All right. Now I'm ending my turn, and the suspect is moving 2 spaces to blue, losing these 2 cards. So now we're down to 6 in the deck, and I don't know where else we have purple. I'll definitely confirm the neighbor. Let's investigate and see what's on the other side of these. Hope there's a purple. Oh. But I don't have enough ideas. A gray card is coming here. I'm going to leave my focus on the yellow card. Let me end my action. I'm going to leave the focus on the yellow card so that I can change focus over here, get teamwork, steal the purple card, and end the game. There we go. So I think we're in good shape. Let's end the turn prematurely. I don't really care what's going to happen here. Suspect was moving 3 in any respect. Nothing bad happens. That's great. So we're going to shift focus to yellow, get teamwork activities. We're going to bring the purple garbage man into position 1, swap it with cake. We'll confirm the garbage man and solve the case. And it looks like the garbage man was the suspect. He was the guy having the affair with the woman at the adjoining table in the diner to whom he gave the scythe mech piece and lied about it to his wife. Or something thereof. Okay, we've solved the case. Now, when you solve a case and you're playing Legacy, you have to pick one of the aspects of the case to serve as the master solution, aspect solution for the master case. The master case is what you're going to be solving at the end of the 5 games in the Legacy series that you're playing. And remember, card 4A, card 4B tells you that based on whichever card you choose as the master solution, it's going to tell you what to unlock next in the Legacy deck. So I don't know any of these. I don't know what any of these are going to possibly do. So I'm going to choose love as the master aspect. So for the master case, over the 5-game series, love will be the solution for motive. Doesn't affect my other games. Oh, and I earned 20 points. Now, how does points work? Well, I had a perfect game. So 20 points is the most you can earn on any one game, and 100 points is the most you can earn on a 5-game series, which is sort of apropos considering this is Spy Club and these are kids in school, and the best you can do on a test is usually 100. You get 20 points because you get 5 points if you recorded an aspect for the master case. Remember, if the case ended prematurely and you already recorded some of the other ones you solved in the master case, you won't get that 5 points. And then you also get 3 points for every aspect you solved. So 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 equals 20, and that's how I came up with 20 points for my perfect score for the first game. Let me unpause and see what happens next. So my game is going to do a lookup on the table for love. Let me unpause. Campaign card 125A has been unlocked. So card 4A goes away. On the other side of 4A, you would have revealed 4B, which would have said, okay, look in the rule book, find out for love what you unlock next for legacy, and unlock that card and see what happens next. So I'm going to sort of end it for the people who don't want to see this other bigger spoiler here, and just say that thank you for watching my video of Spy Club. It's, as I said, to sum up again, this is a lighter game than I'm used to playing, but the legacy is what really convinced me. And the fact that this is it cost me $36 for this game, that's a huge amount of playtime for a low price point. I really encourage you to take a look at this. Now, if you want, you can tune out, but if you really want to see and join me in finding out what's on card 125A, I'm going to reveal it now so I know how the rest of my 4 games in this series is going to play out. I have not seen this card. I don't know what it does. So let's see. Favorite things. It's a time of celebration and gratitude in the town, with everyone giving gifts to one another and talking about a few of their favorite things. Strange, the clues we're finding match the favorite things of many people in town. We might be able to talk to them about these things and gain valuable insights for our case. Flip to the other side of this card and also unlock cards 28, 35, 36, 132, 152, 162, and 34. And the stars indicate that other tokens in the game are going to be used for this next game in our series. Should I flip this, or should I just stop the video right now? Because I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to reveal any more than I already have. If you want to see more, you're going to have to buy the game. But go ahead and do it. I don't think you'd be disappointed. I'm really excited about this game. I'm excited about really playing my first full legacy game. But thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this. This is a blast. Bye-bye for now.